Right, well today we are at Brighton Marina on the east wall, targeting Plaice. I might put a big rod out with squid or mackerel on and try for an undulate later when the tide's higher, but the main target is Plaice. As you can see, it's mega busy. There's two people up there and then there's us two here, and that, unless there's anyone around that bend up there where we haven't been, is everybody that's on it. Today's Tuesday, I don't know, day after Easter, and yeah, there was some Plaice caught over the weekend, and seeing as the tides are a bit cack around Kent for trying for rays and the wind direction, we thought we'd come and have a day trying for some Plaice off of here. That is a huge edge because the car park is quite a way. I don't know if you can see it from here. Try and climb up here. No, no, it's past these buildings there. It's probably behind these. There's a car park and an Asda. Car park is top notch though. It's free all day as long as you're fishing on the marina or out on a boat or whatever. That's the boats all down there. So basically you drive right up to the end of the pier here, arm, sorry, drop your stuff off. Obviously you've got to leave someone with your stuff, but that's why I come with my dad, and then I drive all the way back, park in the free car park, and then ride the push bike all the way back, and it is a massive edge. So much easier. Rods wise today, I don't normally do this, but I'll show you what rods I've got. I've got my Plaice CT with a 7HT mag, and then a Achios Fury FX420 with a Dow Surf. I've got some other rods with me, maybe to try for floating for garfish later, or maybe squid jigging. It's just a carp rod really, and my dad's using his 6 and bait rod, and then he's going to use his new Conti rod, which is, I can't even remember the name of it, something B in it, begins with B, Banzai by Tronics Pro. So yeah, let's get some rigs sorted and baits in order and see if we can catch anything today. Right, so rigs and bait we've got on the Plaice. We've got a, oh dear, size 5 lead on a 2 hook loop rig, and on the top hook we've got black lug, and on the bottom hook we've got black lug with king prawn. And then on the Achios, oh, I've got to lean over, we've just got a plain 2 hook flapper rig with a size 5 legs. So that's like how it sit out there. Top hook is black with prawn again, and the bottom hook just pure blacks. And that's basically all we're going to be doing today. Chuck them out and hopefully some Plaice come and play ball. Bait wise, we've got some fresh blacks from the tackle box, Brighton, lovely blacks there. We've got 6 wraps of those. I've got some old frozen blacks as well. I've got some fresher frozen blacks in there, and I've got some mackerel there, and a pack of squid in case I want to put a big bait out later in a cool bag. That's frozen blacks that are good, and that is it for today down here. Oh, and the king prawns, just pure as the king prawns. Chop each one into like 3 bits and then just elasticate them on a little bit. Job done. Right, let's get these rods out and hopefully catch some Plaice in the beautiful weather. First Plaice of the day. This one came on the loop rig. I'm going to walk to a box and give it a measure. That goes. Can you see it? 29. That is. It is bleeding a little bit as it was quite deep hook, so I'm going to do put it in the bucket, see if it lives. If it doesn't live, I'll take it home. If it does live, in about 10 minutes I'll let it go, because I don't really like keeping them unless they're 30, because then you get a bit more off of them. Put it in the bucket.
Job's a good one.
Right, got a knock. We've had 4 Plaice so far. We've got a knock on the right hand rod, which is the loop rig. Hopefully we might see it knock before I reel it in. There you go. It's a little knock. There's the phone to you. There you go. Just want to take it and reel it. Is that actually it? Out there. Go. Don't turn the camera, that's it. Nice Plaice, that's probably about 28. They've all been 28 so far today. And that's taken on the black lug, fresh black lug with the prawn on it. They're all coming to prawn today, tipped with prawn. Out fishing the straight blacks by miles. We've got a knock on the Conti rod. I've just changed rigs on it. I've been using a 2 flapper, but every fish has come on the loop rig. I've had 4, my dad's had 1, but the flapper rigs haven't had a single fish. So I thought I'm going to take the flapper rig off and put a pulley wishbone on. Exactly the same bait. Pulley wishbone probably gives you a little bit more distance. Look at that. But it's first cast. It's produced at least it's produced a bite. Hopefully, we might get a fish. I'll reel it in. Just get my old man to hold the phone so that I can do it. Right. The other rod not bad. I'll wait till you get to see the other rod. I'm going to take this one. I remember to try and film the water when they're coming up. Don't just turn your head and look at it.
The trouble is, I can see myself in it.
It's much more fun on a light Conti rod.
If I'm going to get it.
Right in front, see it?
I can't see. Look at it on here. I've got a clue if I've got it.
Look down, there. There it is. Again, that one's probably again 28. They've all been 28 or 29. Yeah, they're all about 28, 29. Look at what we just caught. My old man was reeling in, and while reeling in it smashed the bare hook, or maybe the hook with a little bit of prawn on. Don't let anybody know, because there will be millions of people down here just for one mackerel. Right, well, we got our first decent Plaice of the day. Probably pound and a half, I'd say, maybe a bit more than that. This is on the pulley wishbone, and I actually got snagged up. The tide started really pulling left to right now. We're about an hour before high. It always does that here, and these are big tides at the moment, so it's going to do it even more so. But yeah, I left it out there for a while. Did have a couple of taps on it, but where it's pulling around so much, you don't get that much. Indication. So yeah, just a couple of little taps, reeled it in. Nice one. Let's measure it on the box. Come over here. Oh, it's not a step there. Watch that rod tip. So he is 37 and a half. We stretch him out a bit if we want and get 38, but no, we'll take that. 37 and a half. Nice fish. Let's get him unhooked, and then he's not going back, he's dinner. I'm going to try and show you how to use this tool. It is from VMO, and it's down here now, and it's a flatfish unhooking tool. The way it works is you go up underneath the gills there, go under, see the red, try and go between the red and the like the skull part, I suppose. Go through, out the mouth, turn that, wrap that line round, pull that back through. Sometimes it does fall off the hooking thing, especially with this one because it's an old rusty one. Oh, right there then, right, so then you get the line through like that. Beads that way. Right, so the line's through. So that's the line on the rig end. The other bit, you pull the other side, and what should happen, if it's hooked in a way that it can do it, is that hook then pulls down like that. And then what you do, you feel around which way the hook is. And this one's not hooked the best way to show you, but and then you can use this has got a little hook there as well, so you can use this to get under the hook like that, and then pull that through. Let's take that piece of bait off to make it easier, like that. Then you get the tool again, hook that onto the hook. Oh, try not to let go of it, like that. Keep that line taut, and you should be able to feed it back through without catching on too much, like that, and out the mouth, and there it is. And then if you wanted to release that fish is unharmed, rather than pulling, tearing and probably making it bleed to death by yanking it out. Or you've got to cut the hook off, and if you do that on a lot of Plaice rigs, you then have got to retie the whole snood. Well, Dad's reeling in, and it's actually got something a little bit heavy on it by the looks of it. It might just be where it's pulling against the tide, but it seems like there's something a bit heavier than. Let's zoom in. You now caught my other rod. You've got a double shot of Plaice on. Come here, you've got to go over there. Oh mate, hang on. Well, I had to stop that video because the line's got tangled where it's been pulled round. But my dad had a double shot of Plaice. One was tiny, one was 27, sorry. And this crab was caught up all in the line as well. It's big, this spider crab, like, it's not massive, but these are weird creatures, these spider crabs. Really weird. Right, we don't want him. We'll drop him back, cause more chaos. Well, we're coming towards the end of the day now. It's we've got an hour till we've got to be off. We're going to have a couple more casts each, and then call that it. The last probably half a dozen casts, every single one has come in with a Plaice on, but up to like 29 centimeters, 28, and then a couple of smaller ones. They're just, once that tide turned and it started pulling around, they really showed. But obviously not to the size that we really wanted. But we got one good one. We got a few to take home for dinner tomorrow. and it's been a lovely day in the sun, and all it costs to fish on here is 12 quid, so you can't grumble at that. £6, well no, it's £6 to fish here, obviously 2 of us, so it's 12, but that's it. So 6 quid for 2 rods, you cannot grumble, and with that you get the free parking at the multi-story, which if you was to park in Brighton for the amount of time we've been here today, anywhere it would cost you more than 6 quid, and probably more than 12 quid for like the 2 of us. As you can see, most people have actually gone now, and there actually wasn't a great deal caught by anybody else. Not saying that to blow my own trumpet, but the reason that we caught what we've caught and the amount we've caught is all to do with tipping it with that prawn. 100%. If you don't tip it with a prawn, bites were taking forever, but as soon as you tip it with that prawn, those bites come pretty quick in nearly every cast. I think today we've probably had, between us, I think we worked out about 25 plaice, something like that. 1 mackerel, 1 spider crab, and a couple of other little weird crab things. But yeah, it's been a lovely day. So hopefully we still get a few more. It'd be nice to get one more nice big one, but we'll see.